So what are the 3 key steps that we're going to teach you that after this webinar, in a few short minutes, you're going to be able to move from fear to feeling confident and calm and peaceful? What are the 3 steps? Step 1. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll discover what your limiting beliefs are and your self-sabotaging programs. And we're going to do that using your personal inner guidance system. And that's the muscle testing technique. So that's going to become your best friend moving forward. Once we've found those limiting beliefs and we've identified them, then we get to look at what emotions have been trapped within those limiting beliefs from the time that you were little. Each time when you have a belief, it will determine where you focus, and every time in your life where that belief showed up and was reinforced for you, you added more emotions to it. And most times they're negative, so you might have added more anger, more resentment, more frustration. And over time that belief gets stronger and stronger and stronger and kind of heavier and heavier and heavier with emotions. So what we get to do is we get to release that. And that's the part, that's probably the most critical part, where you go from feeling, stressed and about whatever the issue that you're working on, to feeling instantly calm and having that inner state of well-being and inner harmony. Step 3 is, as I mentioned, we get to release all the old stuff, and then we're going to look at, well, what's the opposite of what do you want? So whatever the problem was that you let go of, how would you like it to be? What do you want it to look like? And we're going to create a new empowering belief on how whatever it is that you want to be, do, or have. We'll create that affirmation, that belief, and then we get to imprint it at the subconscious level again. So that's really going to fast track you towards your health, your wealth, and your happiness. Here's how it works.
Good.
Okay.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Are there any questions? Does anybody want to raise any questions at this point of time?
No.
Good.
Cool. Okay, so the muscle testing technique. So this is the muscle testing technique we're going to teach you, which is the process that connects in with your energy field, connects in with your subconscious, and is going to help you identify which beliefs you have that aren't serving you anymore. And we do that using the finger and the thumb. So with SRT, we know that when we're experiencing limiting beliefs, it weakens the body, or we know that the muscles within the body may be weakened or strengthened as a response to what we're thinking. So the muscle test will show you which thoughts, which words, and which emotions are weakening your energy field. So really, you have the ability to be your own detective. I think that's probably one of the coolest things about this muscle testing technique. I use it to even make decisions. Should I do this or shouldn't I? And my inner guidance will let me know, and I use that all the time, every day, to make decisions about when I'm tossing up which way to go about things. So this internal detector is going to show you what's going on within yourself, where your beliefs support you and where they don't. And when you know how to use this effectively, it has enormous potential to be a beautiful navigation device that just really focuses you and really keeps you on the path to moving towards your success and your well-being.
That's right. I really want you all to remember this. You can't fool yourself, because we have the tendency to fool ourselves. So use muscle testing, because I called it your own lie detector. Because sometimes you say, why does this not, or why is this thought weakening me, or why is this thought not weakening me? Then you begin to ask several questions. So this is actually a very, very important thing for you all to remember and to know how to do it. Is this private lie detector that you have. It's your scanning system. remember this.
Yes, and we'll illustrate that as when we do the process a bit down the track, and you'll get a feel for what Lian's talking about. So with the muscle testing technique, with the human mind and the body, it functions very much like a modern day computer. So we like to think that we have this biocomputer inside of ourselves, and you guys might have heard this, just the system that runs our body is the most magnificent thing that's ever been created, and nothing will ever be created similar or with the same kind of power. It's just not happened. It is a very sophisticated system that runs our body, and it obeys the same binary principles as the modern day computer. So every conceivable human function, can be expressed as strong or weak, yin or yang, black and white, or negative and positive. So the binary principle means that there's only two choices to be given in any situation. So when we're applying it to the muscle testing, you're looking for only two responses. You're looking for either to get when you're testing your thoughts, beliefs, and experiences, you're looking for either resistance or a lack of resistance, which will make a bit more sense in a minute. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so what I want you, we're going to put this into action right now. So what I want you to do is I want you to begin by making an O. So put your hands together, your finger and your thumb together by joining your left thumb and your index finger, then do the same with the right. Now pull your hands away from each other while keeping your fingers closed. So you need to keep those interlocks, those O's strong, and try and pull them apart. But I don't want you to, so feel that resistance, okay? Now pull your hands away from each other, and this time feel the lack of resistance. So just feel and allow them to pull apart and release. Okay, so just yeah, that's perfect. So at this point, you'll have a sense of what the resistance feels like when the O's are interlocked, which is strong, and then when it's released, so when it's weak. Okay, so strong and weak. Okay. Okay. So let's test it. So we're going to, what I want you to do now, I want you to think about statements that are true for you, that are genuinely true for you. So you can say, like for me, my name is Shelley. Now, if I said my name is Lian, it doesn't quite work. So I want you to say to yourself, whatever your name is, say that to yourself and just notice the strength in your fingers when you say your name. Do you notice that they stay together? Yeah, okay, that's okay. I can see yours is coming up. That's all right. So now what I want you to do is I want you to think about something that you love or someone that you love, you know? So I love chocolate. I love ice cream. I love my mum. And you feel that strength. I love my mum. I love my kids. I love my husband. Think of things that you love, and can you notice how strong that is? In energy terms, when testing emotions, beliefs, or programs, this shows a positive response. So this shows you that whatever you're thinking about, whether it's a belief or emotion, it's strengthening you, it's energizing you. Okay? So now we're going to do the opposite. I want you to think about something that's false for you. While you've got your fingers interlocked, think about something that's false for you. So for you guys, because we're all females here, if you say to yourself, I'm a male, and see if your fingers come apart. If that's not, yeah. Another thing that you might like to do, now think about things that you hate or you dislike. So I can Brussels sprouts. I hate Brussels sprouts. I hate politics. Think of things that you hate or dislike, and notice the weakening. Yeah, you can see that working for you. Now this is a negative response. So in energy terms, when we test emotions or beliefs or programs, this is a negative response. So if your fingers come apart like that, that's letting you know that whatever the emotion or the belief or the program that you're working with is weakening you, and it's going to require some releasing.
Any
Okay,
questions?
so
Any questions?
Is that working so far?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
When we are doing this, when are we consciously pulling our hands apart and then it goes apart, or are we just allowing it to happen?
We are allowing it to happen.
Just keep your hands.
That's why you have got to practice it, because we don't want you to until you really said the difference does not need to be very, very big. It's just a little, like in my case, because I work with clients so fast, I have to use another technique. It's just kinesiology, how my fingers slip or my fingers don't slip. Usually it's this way. People are testing in kinesiology with the arm. So you need a bit of practice.
Okay.
Mohani, you need a lot of practice, because you don't really want to fool yourself.
That's right. That was really what I was looking for. Am I my own self?
You will if you want to fool yourself, but this is a good technique. That's why you must practice this. Is my name Lian? Is my name Trump? Is my name? So you can feel the difference. Until such time, like when I work with clients, I just go in and I can just ask, and it slips, because the whole idea is not to fool yourself. Okay, the whole idea is to use this as, am I fooling myself or not?
So you can really plug, like really for now, just even now, hold your fingers together really strongly together. And I want you to say to yourself, yes, yes, like inside your head, assertively, yes, 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 with your hands tied strongly together. Yes, 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 right? And now say no and let them come apart. No, 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 no. So we're just letting our subconscious know how we want it to advise us of what's good for us and what's not, right? So no, 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 yes, 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 no, no, no. Now, when you go back and ask yourself the question again, is my name, is my name Shelley? Feel if there's a difference now, even after having done yes, 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 no, no, no. Now go back and ask yourself a question that's true for you and a question that's not, and see if that's helped the reaction, like if that's given you more confidence.
It does require a bit of training. I must tell you, it does, but it's not difficult.
No, it does take a bit of practice.
Yes, it does take a bit of practice. In fact, most people, after about 15 minutes at the end of this course, you will already know how to do it.
You'll have it down by the end of this course. You'll have lots of practice.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just like to welcome Amanda. Amanda has just joined us. She said whether she missed did I miss everything? And Iona Katana said no. So I hope Iona's no means that she hasn't missed anything. Have you got anything? So anyway, continue practicing. Believe this is a system. This is an age-old system. It's all about the energy, and it's kinesiology is a very, very old system. Okay? Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
So that's okay. So this question down the bottom, what does it mean when you test a belief or thought and are surprised by the yes or no response? So this is what Lian was referring to about kidding yourself, because there's going to be times where you test a belief. Let's say, for example, you test a belief and you say, I am worthy. And as far as you know, you believe consciously that you think you're worthy, but you test it and your hand's open. And it's like, oh, okay, so I thought that I was worthy, but really deep down there's some programming in there that's going, actually there's probably more programming in there that believes you're not worthy than there is. So that's where Lian's pointing out, this is where you're going to find your blind spots. This is a really good way to find your blind spots that we all have. And that usually our family and friends are really good at telling us, but we don't really see it that much ourselves. Okay, so remembering an affirmative yes is always the strong fingers together. So that means that the program is strengthening you, and a non-affirmative, a no, means the program is weakening you, and you need to do some releasing around it. And as we've pointed out here, be patient and practice. You'll have plenty of practice by the end here. and just, you know, be calm, be a woman, be centered and intuitive, and just trust that you're getting true information, that your body and your inner guidance system is giving you the true information that you need.
That's right.
Okay, so
trust the system.
All right, so here's where you get to put it into practice. So if you've got a pen and paper, this is where you need to grab your pen and paper. And outside of this webinar, when you're not doing this webinar, what you would generally do is you would choose an area of your life that's currently stressing you out right now. So you would choose something that's stressing you out, or you would choose an area where you would like to move forward and you can't, like for some reason there's something holding you back. So look at an area where you have goals but are not reaching them as well as you like. So for the purpose of this webinar, we're going to use the example of money, because what we know is probably 90% of the world really don't have the financial situation that they truly crave. If they could have all the money and the time that they wanted, 90% of the world just doesn't experience that. So we figure there's a pretty good chance that most of the people on this webinar would like to see some improvement in their finances. Would that be a true assumption to make? Yes, I know I do. You know, the more money you have, the more of a difference you can make. So to give you a working example, Lian's going to work through it as well, and we'll use Lian's program so that you can kind of get a working example of how it works. Okay, so when you do this at home, when you're not on this webinar, because we want to keep it timely, when you answer these 3 questions that I'm going to give you, just write everything that comes out, and keep writing until you can't write anymore. Just be intuitively guided to write until you can't write anymore. And what's really helpful is if you write in the list. If I just go to the next slide quickly. So this is how you want to write it. You want to write your questions and then in list form. Write freely, but kind of write it in list form, because it's just going to make the next part of the process a lot easier for you. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do to keep this timely is when I ask you these 3 questions, and please, when you answer these questions, if you can do it around money. So do it around your financial situation, and just use the first 3 responses that come to mind, okay? So in relation to money, in relation to having the abundance and the freedom that you would love, what are your fears? When it comes to money and having freedom and abundance, what are your fears? So just write down the top 3 things that come to mind.
Yes, only because we have time limit, but you actually should write as much as you can when you're working on it yourself.
On your own, yeah. Have you done yours, Lian? They in your head?
In my head.
Okay.
Okay.
If you've just written a couple, that's okay. Even if you just get 1 or 2 down, that's fine. So the next question that I have for you is in regards to money, in regards to your financial situation and having, you know, massive abundance and massive freedom. What negative thoughts do you have? And the last question. So once again, in relation to money and in creating the financial abundance and freedom that you truly desire, what's holding you back? So I wrote this out a couple of days ago. So these are actually true. This is what came up for me.
So maybe what I could do, it might be easier, since you already have your list out there. I'm going to show Shelley how to test her. I mean, if I was doing it for Shelley, I will go in. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. She has already cleared the sign. I can see, because you see the thing is the circle is strong.
Mm.
I don't have what it takes. That is still there within her.
It is. I tested it today, and that program's actually still there for me. I don't
Yes.
have what it takes. So that's what we need you guys to do now, right?
Yes.
So we need you guys to go back and have a look at your program, each program, and read it out. You can say it out aloud, or you say it out in your head, and as you read it out, test it.
Yes.
So test whether it's a program that's weakening you, strengthening you, which it'll stay closed. If it's a program that's weakening you, your fingers will open. And if it does, for the ones, I want you to highlight the ones that are weakening you.
Do we have to take all from the top? What are your fears?
Yes.
Yes. Just quickly, it'll just suggest. Yeah, just quickly read through each one, and as you read it, your body will let you know straight away. So I can show you. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I don't want to be labelled greedy or shallow. So that one doesn't have too much. What if I fail? I'm not really that afraid of failure. It's so hard. Why even bother?
You see,
I'm always broke. Yeah, so it's just really quick. Just, I don't have enough time. That's a big one for me. You guys, I'm so busy with the kids. Now, that one for me almost opens, but not quite. So my lack of confidence, same thing. So what I would be looking for, after you've identified which ones actually weaken you, I want you to choose now which one you think would have the most effect for you if you were to clear it. Did everyone find one that was weakening them?
There is a question.
There's a question? Cool.
Yes. From Iona. She asked, just a minute, because it's a good question. What means when doesn't open easily? She asked. What does it mean when it doesn't open easily? Yes, if it doesn't open easily, means that particular thought doesn't weaken you. It's only when it opens very easy, that means the thought. But you must be very careful here too. If you feel that that thought weakens you and yet the finger is not opening, then you have to reword your thought, because there's something about it, because you feel it. I have this thought that I think weakens me, and yet it is not opening. Why? So it is the rewording of the thought. For example, in my case, when I was working with money, because I'm using a lot of my savings doing this type of work. So I was asking myself, what was actually weakening me? Fear of being poor, or fear of my savings are running out? And it was, you can see my hand slipping. Fear of being poor, I don't have a fear of being poor, but I have a big fear of using up my savings. So you're trying to say, why does this thing, I think this thought weakens me, or I think this thought doesn't weaken me, and yet it is not yet it's not opening or is closing. So you ask yourself, that's why you go deeper. Why? And you keep on writing, and then something will come up. Does that answer your question, Iona? I can't pronounce that word. Does it answer your question?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was on the terrace and I had my hotspot and just my phone got the battery shut down and I had to come inside for the Wi-Fi. So I heard only half of the question, but I got the idea. It's like it's opening because it's weakening me too much.
Yes.
So I had to reword, but then I didn't hear how to.
So what it is opening you, and then we'll teach you how to clear. But the point, what I was trying to explain is, it is weakening you, and yet you think it's not weakening you. So you go and ask a lot of questions. But the problem that most of us have is, I have a thought, but it is not weakening me. I think it is weakening me. And yet it is not open. So your thought is not quite the right thought. So you have to come into your thought in a different angle.
Okay.
Because the way your programs can be so, like, for example, my mother said my mother said something to me, you will never be rich. And that maybe doesn't weaken you. Why doesn't that weaken me? Maybe then it's your father that said it. You have to test a little bit, especially when you think something shouldn't weaken you and it weakens you. Or if something you think shouldn't weaken you and it weakens you. This is what I call going deeper in. Write your thoughts down and then start testing them. It's a very, very important question Iona asked. And I would like you all to remember that.
Because I had some thoughts which was opening and some thoughts not, and was all of them bad. So I was like, why some of them yes and some not?
First and foremost, the emotions that are tied down to some of your thoughts are not as bad, so to speak, as others. It can affect you. That's why it's very good. But on the other hand, if you think all those emotions are bad, and some open and some not opening, then you need to angleize. You need to go in a different way, because you need to hit. That's why I coach so much, because sometimes the person is not going in, so I go in a different way, and then suddenly say, aha. It is keep on testing until you get your aha. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right, good. Sorry, Shelley. Please.
Okay, so with the programs that you guys wrote down, choose one that you feel will have the most impact for you. And this is where you grab your SRT emotion list. So hopefully you've all got your SRT emotion list there. And what I want to show you, so what we're about to do now is we're going to test what emotions are attached to that belief that you've identified. And you're going to notice, see this in this list here, you've got a lot of negative, you've got a bunch of negative emotions here that we're going to test. And when we test the negative emotion, I just want you to have a look. You'll see on your subconscious release technique page, when you're working with the negative emotions, you use this statement up here, which is, I release all aggression, for example, with the program that you're working with. So I'll tell you how to do that properly. For the moment, I just want you to identify the different statements for the positive and the negative emotions. Now, for the positive emotions here, you'll use this statement, right? So see, I release all blocks with the positive emotion with the program. So I just wanted to point out here, when you're working with the negative emotions, you use the top statement, and when you're working with positive emotions, you use the bottom statement.
Okay, I like to give that example with that you were talking about. For example, one of my programs is, why do I persist in running webinars? For example, so Shelley, you can do the testing.
Okay, so your program was, write that down. Why do I persist?
Or maybe another volunteer, somebody wants to volunteer. My program is, why do I persist wanting to do this webinars? You know, why do I persist
in wanting to do seminars?
I think it's more accurate is, should I just give up?
Should I just give up?
Give up. Yeah.
Let's do that one. Should I just give up? It's a bit less of a tongue tie. Should I just give up? Okay. So here's what you guys need to do now. So with Lian, what Lian's got to do with that program is she's going to look at, should I just give up, right? And you've got to start with look at your negative emotions, and the first emotion is aggression. So with your program that you've chosen, I want you to look at that program. I want you to recall it in your head, say it inside your head, and as you're saying it inside your head, look at the word aggression and test it and see if your fingers come apart, just see if your fingers stay together or if they come apart. If they stay together, then I want you to go to the next emotion. I want you to keep that program that you've chosen in your head, whatever it is, and I want you to keep going through the emotions, start at aggression, until you find one that weakens you, okay? And when you find that one that weakens you, stop there. Okay, so is everybody, hopefully everybody's found their first emotion that's weakening them, okay? So well, I'm going to use...
Like in my case, for example, testing myself, mine is annoyance.
Annoyance, okay. So with Lian's example, I'll do it with Lian first and then you guys will do it, okay? So Lian, just take a deep breath in, hold, I release. Sorry, what did you say? Was it annoyance?
Yes, annoyance.
Annoyance, sorry about that. Okay, so take a deep breath in, hold, I release all annoyance with, should I just give up? And out. Good. Okay, so notice how Lian's saying that inside her head, and that's what I want you guys to do. When you hold your breath, I want you to say that statement inside your head. I don't want you to talk because it's really important that you hold your breath while you say the statement, okay? So you guys do it now. Whatever that first emotion was that you found, I want you to take all together. So I want you all to take a deep breath in, hold, I release all, whatever your emotion is, with whatever your program is, and out.
That's right. And what I did was I release all anxiety with, should I give up? Okay.
Okay, guys, so now what you need to do is keep going until you find your next emotion. So you might find, when you start doing SRT in the beginning and when you're working with your programs, you literally have to release every single one. Like just about every single emotion weakens you. And then as you do more SRT, you'll find that you don't need to do as many emotions. It gets less and less each time. But for you guys this first time, you might be testing aggression, it tests weak, anger, annoyance, apathy, weak, I beg your pardon. And your fingers are opening for every single one of them. If that's the case, then you need to do that statement for every single emotion that's weakening you, okay? So I want to give you right now, I just want to give you, say, 3 minutes, and I would like for you to work through as many negative emotions as you can in 3 minutes. And if you don't get through them all, don't worry, because you can do it after the webinar. But before you do it, what I would love for you to do, that program that you're working with, just give it a number, like a stress level number. When you look at that program, if you could scale it on 1 to 10, how stressful is it for you right now? Because after we've done the process, I want you to have a look at that number again and see if the number's shifted. So before you do any more work, give it a number from 1 to 10. How you grade it? Okay. Okay, and now just give you a few minutes and start working through those emotions. Let me know if you've got any questions or if that wasn't clear. Bless you. right, so hopefully you got through a few of the emotions there. Lian, so shall we keep going or more time? What do you think? I'm just conscious that it's 8:20 already, so.
I think we have to ask the people that are participating.
Yeah, would you like to would you like to finish working through the whole thing, or would you like to do that, move over to the positive ones and finish it afterwards? It's up to you guys. I'm just conscious of your time.
I need more time to do this, so I would say later.
So I think we've got the idea of releasing the anxiety.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's right.
That's the most important thing. Okay.
Yes. But don't forget, first and foremost, you identify, but you must do the releasing. Okay?
Yes.
At the beginning, you might just want to write it down, like I did, and then release one by one as you go along. That's very important, because otherwise the holding of the breath in this technique is the key. If you don't do that, it's not going to release. And the word emotion, that's why for some of you, it is best to do it in your own language, because the program, if it comes out in your own language, you must do the releasing in your own language. That's also very, very important. But the breath work is very important. Okay? Good.
Okay.
Good.
So have a look at the positive emotions now. Come down to the positive emotions, which start at appreciation. And once again, just recall your program that you're working with and just work through the positive emotions. So I often find with the positive emotions, there's not as many to release as the negative. You'll probably work through them a hell of a lot quicker. But just once again, find the first program. So what was yours, Lian? So with Should I Just Give Up? What's the first positive one that you come across? Oh, calm, was it? Calm, okay.
So you can just do one and just show.
Okay, so hopefully you guys have found your first positive emotion that has some charge there. Okay, so for Lian, it's take a deep breath in. I release all blocks with calm, with should I just give up? Okay. And so what Lian would keep doing now is Lian would just keep working through those positive emotions. And each time she finds one, breathe in, hold. I release all blocks with the positive emotion, with whatever program that you're working with. Okay, so I'll give you just a couple of minutes to work with some positive ones, because we want you to feel the difference on how good it feels once you've released these emotions from your program.
I like to add a word here. I just want to give an example. The negative emotions that I had with this particular program, why don't I just give up? Should I just give up? The program was, should I just give up? And I had anxiety, disappointment, hopelessness, punishment, and worry.
Yeah.
And when I did the positive ones, it was calm, and the other one that was very, very active, so it was gratitude and hope and honesty. So when you release it, then you begin to understand why these words, positive emotions, need to be released too, because I'm maybe not being calm enough, maybe I'm not being honest enough with myself. Honesty comes out very, very often in clearing. Okay, and when it comes up, honesty is such a good emotion, and yet it is weakening me. Why? And this is when you start asking yourself question, why is a positive emotion like honesty weakening me? Am I being too honest or too hard on myself? Or am I fooling myself? Things like that. And then you go deeper in. All right? Sorry to interrupt, but I felt it was necessary.
Okay. Okay, so when you're doing that at home, that process will probably take you maybe 10 minutes to do, okay? To work through the positive and the negative emotions, that will probably take you about 10 minutes. So after you've done that, you've released all of them, which hopefully when you get off here, guys, please go back and finish that list to really get the feeling of changing that program. So technically, let's assume that we've worked through all of the negative and all of the positive emotions. Now what we get to do, so we've cleared all that out. Now what we get to do is we get to apply a new belief in there for you. And what we do is we call that a filler. So the space that we've cleared, now we want to fill it with some more empowering, yummy, delicious beliefs that are going to support you for where you want to go. So the best way for you to create the filler or the affirmation is to look at the program that you were just working with and ask yourself, what is the opposite of that? So what is something that would totally excite you that is the opposite of the emotion or the belief that you are working with? Okay, so that's how you come up with your own. So for example, so because I know we're working with money, let's do it together now, okay? So because I know that you're working with money, we can all do this together. At least hopefully as we're all working with money, we can do this all together. So this is what you're going to do with your filler. You're going to come up with something that's completely opposite. And this is the process. We use the same process that we've just used. So all of you now, if you would just all of you take a deep breath in and hold, and say silently to yourself, I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful. I am worthy of abundance in every way. It is my divine right. And breathe out. Take a deep breath in again. Hold. I'm so happy, grateful, and thankful that I love money and money loves me. And out. And one more. Take a deep breath in. Hold. I'm so happy, grateful, and thankful. I have a grateful heart that keeps attracting all the things I deeply desire. And out. Now for you, you might have naturally just had one of your own, okay? So for you, you would just come up with what resonates for you. So with these fillers, to really make them work, you can repeat them 3 times. Now a subconscious hack to really drum it in, use them as much as you can through the day. So I like to use them when I'm in the shower, when I'm cleaning, when I'm doing the dishes, taking a walk, when I'm exercising, just in the area of your life that you want improvement in. Think of your most favorite affirmation, something that really turns you on and gets your juices flowing. And as you're walking along, breathe in, hold your breath, say your affirmation, and breathe out. So as Lian said, she wants you guys using this as naturally as you taking a shower every day. Okay, that's kind of where we want to get to. So this is the quick ways. That process is going to take you about 20 minutes, and that's a really deep level clearing. But we know we're all busy and we don't have that time, all day, every day to do that sort of clearing. So what you can do, we have a very quick way of doing it, right? So moving forward, you're going to become very aware of what a negative belief or emotion feels like or sounds like. So you would have seen these. What if I fail? I haven't got a chance. It's no use. Why bother? I'm getting too old to change now. I'm scared. I'm fearful. I don't know how to move forward. Life's an endless grind. You just can't win. You just can't trust anyone. Like, can you guys relate to these thoughts that just kind of pop up for you during the day? Now, as they come up for you, we've got an umbrella technique, an umbrella statement that you can use all day, every day. And I guess it's like a maintenance. It's kind of like sweeping the floors, you know, like just keeping the dust out. And if you can't do that deep level clearing when you become aware of the belief, then at the very least you can do this. So what you want to do is when you catch yourself, let's say, what are we using as an example? What if I fail? So even with this webinar,
excuse me, before you even go there, just even if you are standing in the supermarket and somebody just came a bit too close to you, for example, because of this corona, you have a thought. And the thing is, why the hell did she come so close to me? So you do this. You can use this technique. I release all positive and negative emotions with this woman passing me too close. So it can be even used like that. Or this person didn't look at you properly, or your daughter didn't answer your question. Release the emotion this way. So it's not just with general programs, but just small things that irritate you throughout the day. Yeah. Because some aggravation, some fear, use this particular program. I release all positive and negative emotions with my daughter not eating her dinner or something like that. A small thing, but do it 3 times so that you can actually feel the release, okay?
Yeah, so just notice, so what you want to notice about this statement here is rather than going through the individual negative and positive emotions, what you're doing is you're releasing all positive and negative emotions with whatever the program is in one go, okay? So that's your... And sometimes you'll find with your programs that that's enough. Like you'll have that program, you can do that and then test your program. That's going to be enough to release it. And then there will be other times where you know intuitively that the program is deep-seated and deep-leveled, and you'll probably want to take the time to spend 20 minutes to go through all of the emotions and clear it on that sort of level. So that's the 2 choices that you've got. You can do that deep level, and all throughout the day when things tick you off, when things get a reaction out of you, or when you want to feel good about something. So for example, even with this webinar this afternoon, I was using this statement quite often. What if no one shows up? What if I stuff it up? What if I, you know, like there was all these little statements coming through for me this afternoon about this webinar, because it's the first webinar I've done in a bloody long time. And so all afternoon for me, it was I release all positive and negative emotions with what if I stuff up? So I was using it this afternoon, and that's where you want to use it. Okay, so once you recognize it, again, don't forget to apply your filler. Once you've released the emotions around whatever is triggering you, remember to apply your filler afterwards. And you do that simply by thinking, what's the opposite? What do I want to be, do, or have instead? And that's your filler. So you hold your breath. And it's, I'm so happy and grateful I am safe. Take another breath. I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful I am powerful. I am amazing. I am successful. Whatever the filler is for you that makes you feel amazing. Okay, so I think we've got that. The recap is, so you know now how to test for the programs that are strengthening or weakening you. Then you want to look at the emotions attached to the program, and then make sure and remember that once you cleared out the old, you replace it with the new.